Hi, welcome to RATETHISGEAR. Today I'll be doing a video review of the Hayabusa Tokushu Regenesis 16-ounce pair training gloves. I hope I pronounced that right as far as the name. So these gloves are training gloves and they're compact. Very quickly I want to show you that it does have a dual Velcro strap mechanism to give you that extra wrist support. The glove itself is made out of a synthetic leather and the thumb area has this suede material. So I'll give you a quick close-up of the glove. The stitching on it is pretty decent, very standard. There's nothing extra, special about it, but it's good stitching. The glove itself, as soon as you put it on, it comes in slightly pre-broken in. It feels very comfortable. You could open up your palm, make a solid fist. The thumb, it's attached at the thumb, as most of the gloves are. The thumb compartment here is a little bit short for my liking, and for some of you that have larger hands and bigger thumbs, I think you might find this a little bit uncomfortable, especially if you're going to be using it in training. Your thumb's going to start slamming into the smaller thumb attachment, so it's going to get a little annoying and perhaps it won't be comfortable. So as far as the Velcro mechanism, there's some pluses to having dual straps for some of you that want to have that extra wrist support. For me, there is a drawback here, and I'll tell you what it is very quickly. I like to have I like to have wrist support, but I don't like to be too tight because you tend to fatigue your hands a little bit and they get tired if there's too much pressure around the wrist. So I kind of like to keep it a little bit loose. So when you keep it a little bit loose here, what happens is this: if you don't kind of pull it all the way around, this part here, it stays on the inside of the glove a little bit, and it ends up actually scratching your wrist, so it becomes very annoying. So you actually have no choice but to kind of tighten it up really tight. So it does give you for me, it gave me a little bit of fatigue. And again, you have to break these gloves in a little bit, as you're using them. So as far as the padding on these gloves, the padding is decent. I wouldn't say it's the best padded glove because I think it's going to be a little rough for sparring, in my opinion. I think you could use this glove in training. It's comfortable, granted that your hands fit into this glove comfortably, and the size of your hands, fit very well into the glove. This is a 16-ounce pair of gloves, and it feels more like a smaller 16-ounce. It's a compact glove. It reminds me of like a Title type of a glove. So if you like Title brand, there's a good chance you might find this very comfortable. They will make, I think, a good pair of training gloves on a heavy bag and things like that. But like I said, for sparring, it might be a little rough. They do have some foam plates here to give you that extra protection if you're catching them, if you're catching punches on your wrist here. So that's great. Also, you could use these in MMA, and my understanding is that they really are an MMA brand. But they do have a great boxing catalog as well that you could choose from. There's different gloves that they have. I'm only doing a review on these particular ones. But like I said, my experience with these gloves at the price point that there are, and they're around $130, the fact that they're not made out of leather, which isn't bad. I mean, this synthetic leather I've seen in another pair of gloves, it's a better quality. If you see my review on the Everlast Elite, the synthetic leather is very similar to that glove. But as far as overall for $130, would I recommend these gloves? Probably not. This is not something I would spend my money on. But I hope you've enjoyed this review. Here's a quick last look. This is more of a bag training glove, in my opinion. And I hope you've enjoyed this review. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more videos.